Anyway, so y'all, girl, I'm over here. I look the bummiest I can look right now, but it's okay because I feel like I just want to say it. I just felt like when I started out the day, I was having a hard time because sometimes it's hard to get me out of the house a little bit. And sometimes I be feeling like I just need to get out of the house. But I don't know, I just didn't want to get out of the house today. I was just like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to have to go nowhere to find my peace. You know what I'm saying? Even though I do understand that nature for me is like one of the most, it's like a God-given peace area. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to go and get my steps in and walk. But I don't know, I just didn't feel like it. I just didn't feel like it. So I just was like, I was feeling restless. I wanted to watch TV. I wanted to apply to some jobs and stuff like that, but I just couldn't seem to get myself to apply for the jobs. Like that felt like a physical block. Like I just could not get to doing it. And it was making me emotional. So I tried to sleep the day away. I tried to, but I don't often like sleeping in because when I take unnecessary, unwarranted naps, sometimes I could deal with sleep paralysis and stuff like that. And I don't really like to deal with that kind of stuff because I feel like that's God's way of saying, girl, get your ass up. Get up. But anyway, so ultimately I ended up getting up and I just felt so icky because mind you, I don't like to sleep in. Like I said, I don't like getting extra sleep. Like if I get extra unnecessary sleep, it makes me feel ill. It makes me feel bad. You know what I'm saying? So I usually don't like to do that. But I just was feeling some type of way because when I woke up, it felt even worse. Like the pressure in my head felt even worse. And not only that, but I thought I saw something. Because girl, I don't know, I think maybe he's increasing my spiritual awareness or whatever the case is, and I just felt like I needed to pray over my space. So I just started worshiping God, y'all, and I just was like praying about the things that I needed. One part that was really important and pivotal for that moment of worship is that there was one moment where I prayed to God and I was like, God, please hear my plea. I need you to hear me when I'm praying this. I need to know that you heard me. I felt in my spirit there was something that randomly came up, and it was like one of my favorite movies is Avatar, and God knows that. I think He knows that that's one of my favorite movies, and the reason I love that movie so much is because of the connection that they have to their God. In hold on, let me cut the music down. Okay. So I was just thinking about how they are so connected with that. One of the things that I feel like is so magical in the movie is how they have curated and been able to showcase like the love that the Navi people have for their God, which is Awa. And there was one part when it was in the midst of war, and they thought that they were losing. They thought they were losing. After they had prayed and they sought for the provision of Awa. And there was one part when Zoe Saldana's character, what's her name? I forget. But she ended up saying, and she was when she saw Awa show up, she was like, Awa heard you. Awa heard her. Something like that. And I thought that was so magical because in that moment, as I was asking God to provide, in my head, all I could hear was, Yahweh heard you. He heard your prayer. He heard you. And it was so, girl, I fell out. All I know is I fell out on the floor because I was like, Yahweh heard me. And in my head, it felt like not only just saying that He heard me, but it was also saying that reinforcements are coming, girl. I've heard your plea and I am not going to forsake you, that I heard you. And you love to tell me about what I said to you, honey. And I said that stuff and I'm going to stand 10 toes on it because that's what I said. And one thing about God is He is a God of His word. God is a God of His word. One thing I was also just thinking about, because I was listening to the Throwback Maverick City. One thing I love is a good Throwback Maverick City, and I was listening to the one was called the one that they did with Elevation Worship called Old Church Basement or something like that. And I was listening to a couple. I'm gonna wait on you. The one that stood out the most to me was A Million Little Miracles. This has always been my favorite song on the album. And I was just thinking about all the million little miracles, the miracles that God, I've seen miracles. I have experienced miracles. I am a receiver of miracles. I have received miracles. And sometimes we can neglect what miracles we've seen. Sometimes we don't have our eyes opened enough and appreciating enough the little miracles. And that's why God always talks about bringing back to your remembrance. You have to constantly remind yourself of God's goodness so you don't lose faith. And I found myself in a space where I felt burdened by everything that I was experiencing, everything that is in my face, every block that feels like it's a block. It just feels like it's a block, but that's only because I'm real close to it. And I needed to step back so I could see how big my mighty God is. And I could see how small this situation is. And I have to trust that God will provide provision for me because he has provided provision. God has provided. Yahweh heard me. He heard me when I prayed for an apartment just like this. He heard me when I said that I like nature. He heard me. He heard some things that I didn't even have I didn't even pray about. It wasn't even in my thought process and my thought plans. I ended up, when I think about how I got this apartment, and not only that, just all the things that I've been through in the past year or the past few years, it's like God has provided in ways that I feel like I honestly didn't deserve. And he did. My car got repossessed. Brand new car got repossessed. Not only did he cut the cost of what that car that I owed, which was pretty much all of it because I had just gotten it. Car got repossessed. Not only that, it was totaled. I ended up getting it with a person, completely totaled it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna owe the whole $30,000. He cut that thing in half. That's a blessing. That's a miracle right there. It's a miracle that when I got the car and I had to go pick it up because I was trying to see what I could get done with it or whatever case, right before the repossession, it was like every little miracle happened. I had so many little miracles. The car didn't crank. When the tow man came, we ended up getting separated. He ended up telling me, go ahead and go, whatever the case is. The car started for him. Mind you, I already tried to start the car. The car started for him to get the car on the truck, and the car started for him to get the car off of the truck. Is that not a miracle from God? When I lost the car, I didn't think I was going to have any car to drive, right? God provided me a vehicle. He provided me a car of my own right after I got one repossessed. That's not something that is likely, and it's something that you should not forsake in giving God his thank yous, his being grateful and remembering how good God is. When I got this apartment, not only is this apartment something that I didn't think I was going to be able to get, because not only was my mother telling me that I should go for something else, I had stood firm in what I wanted, but I felt like I had to shake. Because that's what everybody in front of me was telling me I had to do, that I had to settle. And they didn't believe like I believed. But I didn't want to settle in that. And when I tell you God heard my prayers, I found this place by coincidence. It wasn't even by coincidence. I wouldn't say it was even by chance, because I feel like God designated for me to find it. And I found it, and I waited on him to give it to me. And he gave it to me. He gave me more than enough. He not only that, but he gave me things to provide, to put in this place. This place feels like a home. People come in my place and they say it feels like a home. You know why? Because God filled it with things. He's decorated my apartment. Most of everything you see in my apartment, I have not had to pay a single dollar for. That is the miracle. That is the miracle. Nothing, not a damn thing. Let me get up so you can see. Not a damn thing. This chair here, I didn't have to pay for. These pillows, I ain't have to pay for. That couch back there, I ain't have to pay for. This table over here, I ain't had to pay for. That thing over there, I ain't had to pay for. My TV stand, I ain't had to pay for. The TV itself, I ain't had to pay for. This rug, I ain't had to pay for. Them chairs over there, the bar stools, them lamps and everything like that. The pots the pans, the glasses, the cups, the plates, I ain't had to pay for. Most of the grocery inside of this cabinet, I ain't had to pay for. Do you understand what I say when I say that God is a God of miracles? That Gyro will provide? Y'all better stop playing on my God, because he really like that. Stop playing with him, for real. Stop playing with him. I'm trying to tell you, he gave me this apartment with the fucking, sorry, sometimes you feel like you need a cuss. But that's how I feel. He gave me this apartment with a river outside of the he gave me an apartment with a river outside the window. And only the people who know me know how much I love nature. Like I just mentioned prior to, I love nature. I love nature. I love it. I love nature. It brings so much peace. It brings so much goodness. I love nature. He put a river outside my window. At a price that is affordable. That is affordable. I need him to afford it right now, but it's affordable. Versus the ones that my mama wanted me to settle for, this is affordable. Y'all gotta stop playing with God. We gotta stop playing with him. We have to. And I remember one thing about it, two things to be certain. Don't ever feel like God is not going, like he don't see you. I used to feel like I used to pray that God saw me, because I have a friend, her name is Mariah. Shout out to Mariah. Mariah had to be one of the biggest and boldest examples of the goodness and the favor of God. Let me tell you this. One thing about her is that she do love Jesus, and she's always said it. She's always herself. I don't know, I just love her. I just feel like she's just such a good role model and just such a good example. I just really like her, right? And I felt like she showed me God's goodness and God's miracles, because there were certain things that she needed that God would just provide for. And I used to just be like, well, God, I want to see your visible hand like that. I want to see you visibly in my life in that way. I want to see you show up for me in that way. And when I tell you that in this season of my life, he has showed up more than I could have ever expected, that the pain that I have experienced over this past couple years is that it has been used for the good, and I can actually see it, to the point where I still am healing from certain things, but I am more healed than I thought that I would be. And like I was crushed in spirit. At one point, I was crushed. Well, you know what I'm saying? I was crushed in spirit. After that dude did what he did, I was crushed in spirit. I didn't see no way out of that pain. I couldn't see the pain. But the only thing I had to remember, I'm not gonna cry, but the only thing that I had for myself to remember was, take it day by day. You pick up your cross every day. That is what it looked like, to pick up your cross every day. Sometimes we think that is this and that. Picking up your cross every day is getting up and doing the best you can every day. That's what that is. That's what it looks like. You do the best you can every day. You get up and you be the person that God has set you to be every day. And sometimes it is based off the quality, the circumstances in which you are experiencing at that moment. But that means that with those certain qualities that the moment has, that you get up and you perform to the best of your ability, even inside of the circumstances that you're in. You keep performing, not even performing in a way that you have to perform and show out, but you keep getting up and you keep doing the best you can. It took me day by day. It took day by day. That's what it took. It took day by day. I could not do it multiple days. Sometimes I feel like, especially with people like that are like me and think sort of like me, those people that kind of got that ADHD brain, and they just, sometimes we take on all of the tasks at one because we don't know how to differentiate. We don't know how to differentiate them. We don't know how to take one by one. We don't know how to do such a thing, right? But you just got to take one day at a time. If your heart is broken right now and you are weary, then you don't know how you go get through. You go take one day at a time. You take one day at a time. Do you hear me? What I'm telling you? You take one day at a time, girl, boy, man, woman, a grandpa, granddaddy, little brother, little sister, nephew, cousin. I don't give a who you is. You take one day at a time. I don't care if you're crying this day. If the best you can do is get up and take a bath, you get up and you take a bath. If the best thing you can do is get up and take care of your kids, you get up and take care of your kids. If the best thing you can do is get up and go to work, you get up and you go to work. Take day by day. Don't expect everything to be miraculously fixed in one day. And sometimes God is a miracle bringer. He creates miracles. He gives miracles. He delivers miracles. So yes, if a miracle shows up, then that is what it is. But that's not for you to take on a bunch of the day. That's for God to take on a bunch of a day. You see how the position changed? That's not your position. You take one by one. You take day by day. Period. That's what I did. I took one day by one day. And y'all, it gets challenging. It gets challenging. But let the words that I say be let it be music unto your ears. Let it penetrate your soul in the name of Jesus. Let you hear what I have to say to you. You take it one day by one day. You take it day by day. You do the best you can that one day. Okay? You take it and you do what you gotta do. Period. And just know that God will provide. He is Jireh. That's his word. That's his name of the day. God is Jireh. And also Rapha. Rapha is a good one too. Because God will heal and God will provide. And you just got to trust him. Get off my window. Don't come in here. Stop. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I just feel like that's so important to the point where I had to get on here with nobody's bra on and my bonnet on with these pants. You know what I'm saying? Because who cares? As long as you heard what I said. I said what I said. Thank you, management.